All the other young entrepreneurs, property investors, brokers, and agents who are looking to get their feet wet in the real estate market in 2021, my advice to you is that you got to be aggressive and you got to work with an expert. That's the only way you're going to stand out from the crowd. If you're a real estate agent, a builder, or a broker, this podcast is for you. I'm talking to you guys. You got the entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs are driven by ambition to make good investment and have the financial freedom to live a quality life. Another thing that we have in common is that all successful entrepreneurs and investors have a burning desire and a readiness to change their lives to succeed on their own without a job or a boss, without a pension plan or a safety net. In 2021, the entrepreneurial world of real estate investing has changed significantly due to digitalization, social media, online solutions, and digital marketing. What it used to be versus what it is now is a whole different ballgame. Now, investors and homebuyers are online, and we all know that. Early adopters of online marketing and real estate have developed a successful brand. Now, these brands are different from the multi-corporation brands that we often hear about in the stock market or in Wall Street journals. I am not talking about brands like Apple, Amazon, Nike, or any other big names that come across anytime people start discussing about brands and stock exchange. I'm talking about personalized brands of individuals, entrepreneurs who are ambitious about property investing and real estate. And these entrepreneurs did it by using the tools that are available. The only difference is that they began early. Now, this is before social media like Facebook and Instagram, as well as Twitter and YouTube, had such heavy gatekeeping. And therefore, they had a bit of an easier time establishing themselves due to the lack of competition and, once again, due to a bit less of a barrier or gatekeeping, so to say. For all the other young entrepreneurs, property investors, brokers, and agents who are looking to get their feet wet in the real estate market in 2021, my advice to you is that you got to be aggressive and you got to work with an expert. That's the only way you're going to stand out from the crowd. Connecting with home buyers and property investors digitally may sound daunting. And here's another thing. Anybody can do it, but not everybody will do it. The only question is, will you? Will you build a successful brand, personalized to stand out and connect with home buyers and property investors in 2021 and moving forward? Here are the things that have changed in the last decade. Organic reach on Google that used to exist no longer does unless you are already well established and you're having a lot of traffic on your website. Let's also confront the fact that on Instagram, hashtags are nowhere near as fruitful, and they're not really reaching like they used to a few years ago. Why is that? Well, let's get into it. Do you keep getting notification on Facebook and Instagram on how to boost your post so that it's shown to more people that you care about? Well, let's be honest. We've been using these platforms for quite some time, and this didn't used to be there. It's been there for a while, but it didn't used to be there. You know what I mean? There was a time when you could get away with 4 to 5 hashtags and reach your audience, but that too isn't occurring anymore. Meanwhile, everyone is focusing on buying engagement, buying likes, and buying follows. And I'm not going to comment too much on that or spend too much time on it, but just know that it is happening. And that's changing the rules of social media, and it's creating a heavy amount of gatekeeping. So what should we do? Honestly, the question arises that how do you spark any real engagement with your network? I mean, after all, these tools are only there to help us, correct? So how do we spark any real engagement with our network, with our audience? Well, my first tip to you is that you definitely got to be unique, and you got to be authentic. If you're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, and you're just starting out with digital marketing, then do everything you can to stand out from the crowd. And that's the exact opposite of doing everything that everyone else is doing. And how you're going to do it is with expert advice and with people who've already walked that path. Number 2, consistency. Consistency across all major platforms where you think that your network exists. The question between quality and quantity is debatable, But 9 out of 10 times, you want to focus on quantity, not only because it increases your reach, but repetition is the father of learning. Therefore, if you're doing 4 to 5 posts a week versus a realtor who's doing 1 post a week, well, then you've appeared in front of the same network 4 to 5 times more than they have. Meanwhile, you're still learning, testing, and getting better at what you do. Tip number 3 is virtual tour open houses. Images just won't cut it anymore. There are real estate agents out there that are let's call them your competition. Your competition is doing 3D floor mapping with virtual tours that have 4K cinematic videos of every listing that they are trying to advocate or sell. Meanwhile, you're putting photos up from MLS. This is probably a place where you do want to focus on quality over quantity. 10 photos that were taken directly from MLS versus a 4K cinematic video of a virtual tour, along with a 3D floor mapping that allows the buyers to have a very clear picture of what they're trying to get themselves into. Ask yourself this: which presentation would you personally go for? Right? Number 4 is a website, and this is a no-brainer. You got to have a website, but the thing I want to point out is make sure that your website is mobile friendly. It loads up fast, and it's easy for customers to find your contact information, as well as links to your listings that have all the 4K cinematic virtual tours that we discussed earlier. Here's a key pointer. When you start to upload videos onto your website, it kind of slows them down. So just put links over there that can redirect them to, let's suppose you have a YouTube channel, and that's where you're posting all your 4K videos. So just put a link there saying, this is the property, these are the 3D floor mapping images, and if you want to get a full virtual tour, click on the link and it'll take them to your YouTube channel. And number 5, if you're a buyer's agent, this is for you, and you're just starting out with digital marketing, and that's exposure. Online exposure of you in action to your audience, to your network. If you're struggling to connect with your home buyers and property investors, then that's because they're not able to see you in activities. Half of the world is undergoing another 3rd wave lockdown. But that doesn't mean you must lose touch with your network. You got to let the home buyers and the investors know what's going on. Keep them up to date. Share some background information. Tell them what's available in the market and what's a good decision to make. Where should they invest right now? Remember, look, real estate is your expertise. Ours is digital marketing. We can't tell you what's relevant in your industry, but what we can do is help you highlight your strengths. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Ankit Sharma. Peace and love. Episode number 3, Real Talks for Realtors. Take care. Bye-bye.